stock division. Here as they work their way off turn number 4, Chris Hopkins with the double greens in his hand. He stares them down off turn number 4. Green flag is out and they are underway.
Down the front straightaway, Jess Gleason and Rob Valero battle side by side for the number 1 position. Down the back straightaway, Valero inches forward with the 63. Jeff Thrall working on the outside of Bill Baroni as we look to complete lap number 1 with Rob Valero as our race leader.
Back to the front of the field, Valerio in the outside lane, works his way over as he comes back down to the line. They are side by side. Jess Gleason from Baltic on the inside. Wheel to wheel down the back straightaway.
Gleason a little quicker down the back straightaway with a good run into turn number 2. Baroni tucks it in behind with the number 96. They're going to come right back down to the line. Dead even that time at the line.
There's no question about it on the inside. Zimke looks very good. Right there with him comes Haraka. Here comes Norman Rood. Told you he was strong this season. The Great Pumpkin Machine is in the outside lane as they head back down to the line.
Well, this time around, looks like Rob Valero is going to lead the charge. Gleason right by his side at the line. Here comes Jeff Thrall, car number 89. Thrall working the outside groove. He looks to pull up alongside the 96 of Brownie. It's Tony LaFoe and Norman Rood, a pair of first-time future winners in the year 2000.
Valerio brings him back down into turn number 1. Jess Gleason still holding on to that second spot. Up into the loose stuff goes car number 89. It is Jeff Thrall who still holds on. Baroni is a big factor as he works his way off turn 4.
Again, Thrall pulls the 89 out of line, narrowly missing the Arco barrier. Going to cost him a spot as Tony LaFoe moves up another position. Here comes Norman Root to the inside with the Great Pumpkin as he battles right alongside Jeff Thrall.
Root will now take back the 5th spot. Thrall goes way out into the loose stuff. Zepke now pulls the Guilford logging machine to the inside. And Haraka is right there to contend along with Diego Monahan and the Beetham number 45. And right there with him is Big Loose Douton with the number 39.
Out of turn number 4, Jack Aquilina pulls out a line. Looks as though problems settling in with the LaJoy's auto entry as Aquilina slows with the number 11. Down the back straightaway, we look to complete lap number 9. This next time back to the line as Rob Valero continues in command.
No question about it. Look a little further back in the field and Sean Monahan is starting to show a little muscle of his own. He follows Moose Douton to contend to the inside, Dupre in the outside lane as they work their way to the bottom of turn number 1. But off turn number 4, it is Valerio still in command. Thrall now has a problem. He makes minimal contact with the wall in the outside lane, and that is going to bring out the caution. 10 laps into this event with 40 laps remaining. It is Thrall who was contending among hired back up once again. Chris Hopkins staring him down, indicating where he'll be giving them the green as they work their way into turn number 4. They address the starter. Green is out, and they're back underway. Valerio on the inside. Baroni's trying to fight back, and look at Norman Rood. Great season for him, and he is going to end it on a high note. He'll go to the outside and work his way back off turn 4.
Out of turn number 4, Baroni looking to the inside. John Beetham, Dave Zemke have some contact out of turn number 4. Both those cars stay pointed in the right direction down the back straightaway. Tony LaFoe looking to the inside of Rob Valero. LaFoe has the door closed out of turn number 4. So we've got 12 laps in the record books.
No question about it. LaFoe a little bit out of shape this time. Tries to gather it back. Norman is right there waiting in the wings. Then it's a pair of red cars, the Zepke and the Haraka machine. All looking very strong just into the top 5.
Couple cars in trouble over at turn number 2. Looks like Rick Lenda has the number 88 pointed back in the right direction. Tim Fogg has the deuce rolling again as well as we continue to work under green. Down the back straightaway, watch the battle shape up for the lead. Tony LaFoe battling on the inside of Baroni. LaFoe looks to take over the runner-up spot. Valero back to position number 1. Root working that 4 spot again. LaFoe with a good run out of turn number 2. We go 3 wide into turn number 3.
Well, they are 3 wide, and Valerio becomes the meat in the sandwich in this one. He goes from first to about the 4th spot without a problem. It is LaFoe who takes over the number 1 spot. Baroni back in command. Here comes Norman Root. He's going to challenge for second. Down to the inside, off turn number 3. Here comes Norman Root. The Great Pumpkin is rolling to the front of the field. Off turn number 4, and Norman Root will take over the 2nd spot.
We've got 4 or 5 cars battling for 1 position. A little further back in the field is T.H.E, our Czech champion. Now that situation has cleared a bit as Moose Douton also involved in that 5-car battle for position.
No question about it. As they head down into turn number 2, it is Zemke who finds an opening to the inside of Bill Baroni, but Baroni is not going to give up the spot with ease. Also right there is Sean Monahan. Monahan running the inside with Beetham, who's been bounced around quite a bit, with Haraka making some magic in the outside lane. Less than 31 laps remain when they come back to the stripe.
Well, down the back straightaway, the battle on the speedway is for the 3rd spot. Baroni battling with the 17 of Dave Zemke. Zemke a little quicker through the turns. Baroni a little quicker down the straightaways, as that puts an evenly matched pair of competitors locked in a battle for 3rd. Here comes Sean Monahan, Steve Haraka, and the 45 of John Beetham.
Zemke again will try to make a run for it down underneath Bill Baroni, but Baroni has the momentum in the outside lane. Side by side and wheel to wheel, the battle is suddenly a battle for the 3rd spot. Then it's Monahan, Haraka, and Beetham all in a pack as they head.
Well, here comes Tony LaFoe. He looks to click off lap number 21, 29 laps remaining.
Down off turn number 4, it is still the number 82, your leader. Tony LaFoe in command, but Norman Root has really reeled him in. LaFoe has nothing but orange behind him as the challenge is already on. Look a little further back in the field. Here comes Beetham. Sean Monahan has moved into the 4th spot. He's all over the back bumper of Zemke as they work their way down into turn number 1. 2 cars out in front, but look at Sean Monahan reeling in on Zemke as they head off turn number 2.
Well, Sean Monahan has caught up Zemke. Quite a battle going on behind them, however, as John Beetham looking to make his way past Baroni. Looks as though Beetham is pulling the 39 of Moose Douton as Baroni a little tire hop through the turns. So that's going to cost him a little bit of momentum out of turn number 2 as T.H.E and Steve Haraka look to close in and join the battle.
Here they come off the 4th turn, back down to the line. Good battle is shaping up for that 3rd spot. Sean Monahan making some magic in the outside lane. Zemke not giving up in his quest, but it appears that Monahan, inch by inch, I think he can, and he does, will take over the 3rd spot. Well, all that's been happening. Norman Root is getting closer and closer, staying right there with Tony LaFoe to try to take over the number 1 spot. Look a little further back in the field for the 5th and 6th position. It is the 45 of Beetham on the inside, and right there to the outside of them is Big Moose Douton with less than 23 circuits this time by.
Good battles anywhere you look in this strictly stock main event. Tony LaFoe, your race leader, having a very smooth line around the 1/3 mile oval, as LaFoe has Norman Root right on his back bumper out of turn number 4. A hard shot, Sean Monahan, car number 31. Baroni, Joe Mancini, and Jeff Irwin, as we've got some very hard shots here on the front stretch.
No question about it. Baroni hit at a ton.
Likewise, the 31 of Sean Monahan. Again, we are going to ask everybody that's working their way towards the accident scene here on the grandstands.
And it looks like we're about ready to get them fired back up and go back to green. 23 circuits and counting down.
Green flag comes down. Cruz running second. It's car number 39. That entry is driven by Bruce Douton. Down now up to the second spot. Here comes our track champion, T.H.E. Dupree battling on the inside of John Beetham, Steve Haraka, Norman Root, Mark LaJoy, all right there.
Well, 4 cars run under a blanket in quest for the spot. Now we've got Valerio, once the leader of the event, and Tim Fogg coming together down the front straightaway.
The Guida's Dairy, Yale Oil and Heating, and the Deuce, the Tim Fogg remaining in this 50-lap affair. So we're just about 3 laps shy. Past the halfway point is Tony LaFoe. Your race leader has Moose Douton lining up on the outside. Chris Hopkins sends him off. Evenly matched down to turn number 1. LaFoe inches forward with the 82.
No question about it, but Moose Douton's got to give him a run for the money in the outside lane. He'll put the hammer down as they head down into turn number 3. Big Moose Douton, inch by inch, he thinks he can, and he does. It's short-lived because here comes LaFoe back to life.
Well, John Beetham works in the 3rd spot. He really has the best seat in the house as he watches that battle unfold for the number 1 spot. Looks as though a good run out of turn number 2 is going to net Moose Douton the lead. As Douton's going to lead LaFoe, our race leader, back to the line they come. Beetham and Ted Dupree work 3rd and 4th.
Well, that's been happening up front. We get a battle between Norman Root and Haraka, who are contending for the 5th position here. Down the back straightaway, off turn number 4. It is still Moose Douton, your leader. Tony LaFoe trying to fight back, so does Beetham as they come back off turn number 4.
Well, LaFoe trying every trick in the book as he battles with our late model rookie down the back straightaway. LaFoe also moving up to the late model division in the late stages of the season. As those 2 competitors work in the top 2 spots. That's Beetham, Dupree, and the 35 of Steve Haraka. That's a great pumpkin. Car number 80 of Norman Root, 43 of John Puglisi.
No question about it. Haraka will now pick up the 5th spot. Root's trying to come back to life and apply some pressure here. Puglisi and Smith are bumper to bumper and nose to tail. Here comes LaJoy. He'll make a challenge to the inside. Coming off the turn, can't quite do it, tucks it back in the line. He's now contending among the top 10 cars here. Look a little further back. We've got the 33 of Rogers on the inside, challenged heavily by the 88 of Linda, making some magic in the outside lane.
Oh, the front half of the field running a single file order. Things double up behind the 12 of Joe Mullen. Here comes Chuck Rogers. As Mullen a little bobble through the turns. It's going to pick up the number 50 of Mike Caprio and the 11 of Jack Aquilina.
Single file formation. Here comes Beetham going to the outside of LaFoe as they head off turn number 2. Down the back straightaway, nose to tail, bumper to bumper. That's the story there. Beetham tucks out a lie. He'll try to apply the pressure in the outside lane. Off turn number 4, he'll move it back into formation. Dupree is closing up the gap, making it a 3-car bid for 2nd currently as we speak.
Oh, looks like Dupree dropping back a bit out of turn number 2. Next group of cars led off by Steve Haraka in the number 35. Haraka leading Norman Root, John Puglisi, Phil Smith, and the 4 of Mark LaJoy. There's Chuck Rogers, Mike Caprio, and the 11 of Jack Aquilina.
There's great racing action looking a little further back in the field as we've got a bid just out of the top 10. The challenge is already on there as they work their way back to the line. Big Moose Douton is currently your leader, still setting the pace out front. Tony LaFoe hunted down by Beetham with Dupree right there on his back bumper.
Oh, looks as though Moose Douton looking to open up quite a lead down the back straightaway as we have 12 laps remaining. Tony LaFoe battling with John Beetham and Ted Dupree. Great pumpkin on the move. Car number 80 for Norman Root. Root looking to move up a spot as he challenges Haraka down low. John Puglisi sits back and watches the action with the number 43.
Well, Root ran so strong in the early laps of this event. Now he comes back to life. There's less than 10 circuits to go as he'll make the move and try to take back the 5th spot. Haraka wheel to wheel in the outside lane as they head off turn number 2 and head down the back straightaway. Moose Douton unchallenged. He's your leader. When he crosses the line this time, there'll be less than 9 laps to go.
Well, that battle continues to wage on for the 5th spot between Norman Root and Steve Haraka. John Puglisi and Phil Smith, last week's feature winner, right there in contention. Mark LaJoy picking up at the tail end of that pack of competitors. Nice side-by-side racing going on a little further back in the field As our race leader, Moose Douton, continues in command. Here comes John Beetham. Beetham pressuring Tony LaFoe on the outside groove.
3 cars contending there. Look a little further back, and we've got Root and Haraka wheel to wheel and side by side. Here comes LaFoe, still trying to hold on to second. Beetham trying to get a nice run for it in the outside lane. Valerio retires after leading the event, bouncing off the wall, and he then pulls to the center of the infield. Down in turn number 3, it is still a battle going on for that runner-up spot. Side by side and wheel to wheel. This time, when they come back to the line, there is 6 laps remaining in this event.
Oh, looks like John Beetham has the best of Tony LaFoe. A little contact through the turns as Beetham and LaFoe continue to slice and dice for position. 5 to go, coming out to your race leader, Moose Douton, as John Beetham has taken over second. Looks as though Ted Dupree now challenging LaFoe on the outside. That's for the 3rd position. Dupree already crowned the year 2000 Strictly Stock Track champion.
Well, there's a mad scramble as Thrall gets crossed up down the front straightaway with Diego Monahan, but no real problems there. We're still under green, but look what's happened here. It appears that LaFoe has dropped off the pace just a bit. Less than 3 laps now when they come back to the line.
Well, the field's strung out around the 1/3 mile oval. Neva Midget main event coming up next. As our race leaders work across the line, looks as though Diego Monahan going down the lap 2. Our race leader, Moose Douton, as the 2 to go signal coming out this time at the line.
2 laps remaining in this one. It appears that Douton's got the field covered with the number 39 car. Beetham still running in second. Dupree still got third. LaFoe in the 4th spot, and Norman Root set strongly in the 5th position with Haraka hunting him down. But there is going to be less than 1 lap to go as your leader comes back to the line.
Final circuit in this main event for the Strictly Stock division. Looking for Moose Douton, your race leader. Douton working his way down the back straightaway right past the scoreboard as we speak, as he has quite an advantage over the 2nd place runner, John Beetham. So race leader works his way out of turn number 4. Moose Douton picks up the win. Beetham in for second, followed by the 59. It's Ted Dupree.
LaFoe will finish in the 4th spot, and Norman Root will finish among the top 5 here. So there you have it. They'll be all greeted by Gary Danko in the winner's circle.
On his fine 3rd place finish. And how about a big round of applause for our 2000 Strictly Stock champion, Ted Dupree, driver of car number 59, as he gets congratulations from different crew members. And I'll tell you, Ted, first of all, before we talk about the championship, let's talk about this race.
This race was unbelievable. There was a lot of rubbing going on out there. Some people couldn't help it, and things happened. But glad to see we finished up 3rd.
And what a fine way to go out. Of course, you're the crowned the 2000 Strictly Stock champion. You get a podium finish, and you certainly had a strong race car. Do you think maybe if we had a couple more laps, just maybe you could have got up there?
Possibly, but I was just out for fun today.
And where did your car feel, handle anywhere particular better in, say, turns 1 and 2 versus 3 and 4?
It was good all around. I was just trying to stay out of trouble. That's a hard thing to do.
Now let's talk about, we talked about your 3rd place finish today. Certainly a great job from you, your crew, and your sponsors. But how about being crowned a 2000 Strictly Stock champion here at Waterford Speedbowl and being under the NASCAR banner?
Oh, it's a dream come true. That's what we're racing for, and luckily we've been able to get it this year. Took a lot of hard work and a lot of help from my sponsors and my family. I'd like to thank the Cutting Edge, the Coffee Break, Lighthouse Signs, Peggy and Billy, Dick Watson and Silver Fox Enterprise, Old Saybrook Napa, Advanced Auto, my wife and kids, and my mom and dad, and everybody else that's helped us.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ted Dupree, driver of car number 59, finishes 3rd here this afternoon, and he's also crowned the 2000 Strictly Stock champion. Congratulations, Ted.
Thank you.
Okay, and now finishing 2nd here this afternoon in this feature event, John Beetham, the driver of car number 45, is congratulations in order to John and to Ted, and of course they're drinking their Poland spring water. Okay, let's talk about your 2nd place finish. It looked like that gentleman up in front that's in Victor Lane, Moose Douton, he checked out on the rest of the field.
Yeah, I was trying to save my tires. Then I looked and it was single digits on the board. And me and Tony ran a hell of a race. You know, that was a lot of fun. Got to thank U.S. Chowder Pot for having this event. I mean, I love 50-lap races. That was a hell of a race, and even though I finished second, I had a good time. I'd like to thank my sponsors, Warren's Graphics, my crew, Warren Sipoleski, Jimmy DuPont, my fiance, Lisa Marino, Warren's girlfriend, Kelly, all my fans, all my friends. It's a good way to end the year on a good note.
I'll tell you, there was a couple altercations out there this afternoon. How did you avoid all those wrecks with car number 45?
Being patient. I heard the 17 blow a tire, and I was right behind him. Other than that, just use your head, be patient. It's a long race, try to save the tires, but I had nothing for Moose at the end.
Okay, John Beetham finishes second here. We'll get a quick word with Tony LaFoe, who finishes fourth. Tony, you led this event, but you come home fourth. You got to be happy with that.
Yeah, great race. It was awesome. A lot of fun. Good, clean racing up front. I don't know what was going on out back, but that was just a lot of fun. I'd like to thank the Chowder Pot restaurants for sponsoring the event, and everybody else for helping us out. I'd like to thank Terry for buying the track and doing a great job with it this year, and congratulations to Moose and everybody else.
Okay, Tony LaFoe finishes fourth here this afternoon. All right, well, we're stepping in the water here. Come on, guys. First of all, Moose, great run for you here this afternoon. You checked out on the rest of the field. You looked like you were the man to beat.
Well, this car was hooked up. I won the 97 championship with this. And, hey, to win it on the USS Chowder Pot night, this is a thrill. This is just great. We're out here for fun. My nephew's car is going good. He's got a good car for next year. I just hope I can do that in the American Challenge.
As I mentioned to some of the other drivers, there was quite a few altercations in this 50-lap event. How did you stay out of trouble?
Luck. It was scary to see them guys hit the wall like that, because I've hit like that. And they don't feel it much now, but tomorrow, the next day, they're going to be hurting. I just hope they're all right.
Now, you had a lot of success in the strictly stock division. Of course, you moved up to the American Challenge Series, where you now have radio communication with your crew. How different was that for you to get back into a strictly stock where you were just basically talking to yourself?
Well, the late model, the American Challenge Series car, when you drive one of those and get back in one of these seem a little bit easier to drive, because you learn a little respect in them cars. These things here, you can see out of them. The American Challenge car, you need a radio. You can't. Your peripheral vision is all you got and straight ahead.
Well, congratulations, Moose Douton, back where you had a lot of success here in the strictly stock division, and we'll look for you maybe a little bit later on in the same spot.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, that's Moose Douton. He wins here this afternoon in the strictly stock division. Let's send it back upstairs.